So this one says, "Dear sisters, I've been married for the past 8 years. Now, during our courting days, I never saw any sign of cheating on the part of my husband. Some years into our marriage, however, I realized he's a big cheat. There were messages to show that he's been intimate with some of these ladies he's cheating on me with. When I confronted him, he had the nerve to tell me that he only played with them. What breaks my heart is the fact that he has never been remorseful about it. He never apologizes, but rather gets defensive and makes the whole thing seem like I'm actually accusing him falsely. I feel I'm in a toxic marriage. He's a chronic cheat, but with the way he portrays himself, no one will ever believe me if I tell them what's really going on. Because of this, I prefer to keep mute over the issue. But there's so much pain and bitterness in my heart. Sometimes I just feel like ending this marriage. Please help me out on how to proceed." Yes, dealing with a chronic cheat. Gail, since you are the newbie here today,
oh, wow.
let me throw this right onto your lap. What do you think?
Wow. You see, when you started a relationship, even if she's saying that she didn't know he was a chronic cheat until after they got married. But usually when you're dating, there are always signs. There are always red flags. So even if the evidence is not like in your face, you see signs that shows that the person can not be trusted, or maybe he's not transparent enough, or maybe he's not accountable. You can use those basic structures to know if somebody can be trusted or not. So, well, having said that, if she says she now realized that he's been cheating on her, and she's saying that she wants to end her life, I think that's a bit extreme, because it's two people that decide to build a marriage. The marriage is not a person.
Right.
If there are no two people planning to build a marriage together, then there's no marriage. So if the two of you feel like you're the only one in the marriage, then obviously there's no marriage, so there's no point being in it. So rather than say you want to kill yourself or end it all, it's better if you just get out of it. And you shouldn't let what people think influence your decision, because sometimes people think about what the family will think, what society, religion, and then you're there and you're losing your peace of mind. Because I always talk about mental health and your peace of mind. That should be paramount. No matter what you do in this world, your peace of mind is paramount. So you can't lose yourself in the process of making someone happy or living a life with someone. So if she feels like she's at the end of a rope and the guy is not committing to something that they both wanted to do, that's to build a life together, then the best thing to do is to opt out. Just get out of it, and that's it.
Don't you find it quite bizarre, though, that, he's not even remorseful, he doesn't want to sort of own up to it?
I think he's a narcissist. Yeah, he's a narcissist, then they are very good at ghosting. Gaslighting, which is a term for when they do something and then they pretend like you're the one who is imagining things. And so people like that, either is a sociopath or maybe he has no remorse, no conscience. Right. So people like that, they're very dangerous. And what she's going through is a serious mental what's the word? It's the
like
worst type
abuse,
of abuse is the mental one, because it doesn't even show on your physically show on you. It's in your mind, and it's eating you up, and that's the worst kind. So you're just manipulating her, and it's up to her to get out of it. Right. Yeah.
So you say get out?
Yes, nothing else. Like that's it.
All right. So Gail says get out. Olivia, what do you say?
Yeah.
It's a tough one. The reason why I say it's a tough one is because assuming that this guy in the beginning of the relationship that you had with him, I mean, he gave you the impression that he was faithful and he was reliable and you could count on him, and then, all of a sudden you finally say, I do. You've gotten into this lifetime, long-lasting marriage or contract with him, and then all of his true colors actually comes out. So it's hard. I can imagine I can't even begin to imagine what you're going through. You thought you probably married a saint, and then now you realize that you're stuck with the devil for life. It depends on what you want as an individual. What do you really want? I don't know if you guys have kids. And what is really worrying for me is all the bitterness that's building up in you. Because what's going to happen is that over time, you're going to end up being somebody that you really aren't. And, bottling in a lot of resentment, a lot of bitterness, a lot of pain is really not good for you, because on your being, you might end up being very, very sick, because you end up with heart disease because you'd see him and immediately you're upset. And then your BP is going to go up. You will be depressed. You will not love yourself. You will feel as though you are in a death sentence or about to die. And nobody should live like that. I don't condone divorce. I do not like divorce at all whatsoever. Maybe this is how you can start off. Obviously, he's cheating. Okay, as far as I know, my Bible tells me that he who finds a wife finds a good thing. There's so many things that come to play. Some men, not all men, actually can't deal with the fact that, especially the men who are not mature before they get into marriage. But not all of them are able to deal with the fact that, so finally I'm married. I'm stuck to one woman and I have to make it work. Some of them, it takes them some time. I'm not justifying the fact that he's cheating. I'm just saying that when you find a lot of immature men getting into marriage too sooner or based on the pressure around them, they can't deal with the realities of life. They still want to have their eat their cake and have it. So they still want to be able to go out and do whatever it is. And in his mind, he's done what society has deemed fit for him to do in terms of getting married. There's no sense of commitment. There's no sense of loyalty. He's just sort of tick the box. And, as far as he's concerned, he'll probably make you pregnant. You guys have a child or two, and then life still goes on. I'm not sure whether you guys have actually spoken, like that deep, serious conversation. Have that one serious, I know you've probably spoken because he's like, he doesn't care. But I think that there must have been something that connected you both together from day one. You see what I mean? Something brought you together. There was something attractive about you. At some point in time, he had your listening ear. Try and go back to basics. Okay, I know it's hard when the other person is not receptive. Sometimes maybe our attitudes too as women, I know you're hurt, I know you're angry. When he comes, you have proof, you have evidence. You're not interested, you're angry. So that's why I keep asking, what do you want? Do you think it's something that you can make it work? Do you think you can forgive him every single day? Like somebody once said, in marriage, every day is an opportunity to forgive, leave what happened in the past behind and keep going. If that is where you are at and you think that your heart is ready and able to make it work, by all means, please work on it. Have that conversation with him and ask him what is going on. Is there anything that you're doing wrong? This is what he's doing to hurt your feelings, rather than bottle it in. Okay, maybe he knows that he's cheating, but you haven't told him. Maybe you haven't told him how you feel. Clearly, not everybody is going to be happy with a cheating husband. But maybe, how about you open up to him and tell him that you really want the marriage to work. What can you do? You don't want him to be cheating. You probably what do you want? Do you want it to work? Then you can take it from there. But if you're at a place whereby you're tired, you've had enough, you don't want him bringing you some kind of disease whatsoever, you guys don't have children and you think you've had enough and you don't want to work on it, well, I think that's a decision you really have to sit down and think about it and make sooner or later, because I don't want you developing something and being somebody that you're not. However it is that we end up advising you, two things. Either you want to make it work or either you want to stay out of it. Either you can get people involved, not people, like very important people who you think you will listen to talk to him so that you work it out and make it work, or you let it go. But at the end of the day, you have to take that decision. So I'm so sorry that you have to go through this.
Right. And I think you're spot on. The onus really lies on her. Rosina, what are your thoughts?
I would like to align more with Gail, except for the part that she said that there are red flags usually. Now, usually there are red flags, but wait until you meet somebody who can actually hide their true self from you properly. or give the perfect excuse for everything. And they put you in a spot where you feel like you're actually in a privileged spot. Because I have been there, where I wouldn't say the red flags were there, but he just checked all the boxes, almost too perfect. And you are in this zone, like you think that, okay, this is the perfect man that's ever existed, and things like that. And such people, you get to find out sometimes too little, too late. And because it's something that they are deliberately doing, it doesn't put them in the category of normal men who just cheats because of weakness or who just cheats because they just had to cheat. It's a calculated effort to get you in a spot where they want you to be. And then now that you're in that spot, they are free to now show their true colors. So for me, I don't see any working on this because, one, there is no show of remorse. There is no show of regret. You see, you can only forgive when someone has admitted, truly, especially in a relationship, because in a relationship, even though, yes, to make the relationship work, you need to have that forgiving spirit, that forgiving heart, to just decide to forgive your partner every day. But you see, the partner has to be somebody who is a candidate for forgiveness. I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to say. Totally. They need to be a candidate worthy of forgiveness. So if they are not showing remorse, they are not even sorry, the things are there. Like, this is the kind of person you see in a room, lying on top of another woman, and you say, oh, please, I was just checking her temperature. That's all I was doing. You see, this is him. And you see, marriage is good. The same quotation that makes you say they hate divorce and everything gives infidelity as a basis for divorce. When you go to the law courts, one of the strong things that you can use for divorce is infidelity. So then I'm yet to see, unless of course it's a traditional marriage where it's open, you are entitled to marry more than one. And even that one, there are codes and clauses as to how you treat the previous one you are married to. So my dear, this marriage is no marriage. And this is not something that you should hang on to because God hates divorce or the Bible hates divorce or you hate divorce. This is about your sanctity, with or without children. A man who is not remorseful about things that they get wrong and try to convince you that you don't know what you are talking about. Look, it's a serious psychological state to be in, where you have seen something, you know what you have seen, but they are trying to convince you that you don't know what you have seen. It's a very serious psychological state to be in. Now, this level of psychological torture, you realize that it doesn't only affect your marriage. It would affect your workplace. It would affect your relationships with friends. It would affect how you even look at yourself. It would affect how you even perceive yourself, even as a human being. And you see somebody who looks very promising, who looks like there's life ahead of them, all of a sudden you hear that they've committed suicide. These are the kind of relationships that drive people to do things that people never imagined they could do. So let me just cut this thing short. Forget about the marriage thing. Forget about the children thing. If they are children, you need your sanity to take care of the children. You cannot have sanity in a marriage where lies are being told, the wrong is being done, there's blatant disregard for the wrong that they have done, and then they are unremorseful about what they have done. They try to tell you that, oh, after all, what is it? You know, it's a very psychological state to be in. And I think that it would be very unfair for me on this show to tell that person to condone that level of psychological torture and stay in. If the story went like, oh, and I approached him, he said he was sorry, it was that, you can tell that, yes, maybe he wants to work on it. Then we can do for, but when he's not remorseful, when somebody is not, it's like a murderer who is not remorseful of being murdered. It's no more a murder for self-defense or it's no more a mistake. It's an intentional, calculated activity. So, my dear, let's stop doing this thing as if the marriage is the beginning and the end of it all. I am somebody who advocates for marriage as much as possible. I want the unit to stay together because a child needs the father, a child needs the mother to grow properly. That atmosphere is very good for the well-being of the children and even yourself. And we have issues. Look, I'm waiting for that married couple who haven't considered divorce in the first 2-3 years of their marriage. They are very limited. They are very few. However, we have worked at it, and now you can get into a stage where divorce is probably not even an option. Fine. But there are some situations from day one, you know, that the whole marriage is bordered on deceit, is bordered on lies, is burdened on mental torture, emotional torture, psychological torture, you can't handle it forever. The earlier, the better. Before you start having children in the name of making up, and now you are now sticking in the mind to the children. That's my take on it. Leave.
Well said, ladies. Well said. I mean, she made a comment here, and I couldn't actually believe it. Something about she feeling she's in a toxic marriage. You actually are. If it's just like if you needed confirmation from us, here it is. How can you be in a relationship or in a marriage where the man just blatantly lies to you about his sexual escapades outside the union? It's not even remorseful. He says he's playing with the women. It wasn't even like, that's so disrespectful.
Yeah.
And I'm actually surprised that you're still there, staying mute. To whose benefit? Dear lady, I feel like you're the only one losing in this game. So if you want to keep your sanity, and I don't know if she said they had kids, but if
the kids are not.
I'm guessing, you didn't even mention that there were kids. So then what's the issue?
Yeah.
Your sanity any day over a toxic marriage. So we wish you the best of luck. Of course, we will say what we can, but the decision is yours to make. We'll bring in a couple of messages here I received. Gladys says, he didn't show any signs of cheating nor treated you bad, but you still wanted to know, and now you know, so keep it. Isaka says, hey, since when did cheating become the highest on the hierarchy of sins on this earth? You complain like your husband has killed your father. Calm down, please.
Shall
Yeah, okay. I'll skip that message. Adam says, infidelity is a scriptural basis for divorce, but if you have sex with him after each cheating act, it nullifies it. I didn't know that. Okay, shine your eyes before you contract a deadly disease. Stephanie says, concentrate on your children and yourself and stop thinking about his cheating life. Ben says, I always advise ladies to stop being inquisitive. What you don't know won't kill you. Please endure. Erica says, just find something that makes you happy and invest your energy into it. Otherwise, you'll be miserable for the rest of your life. Sally says, please don't forget about it because it's clearly affecting you emotionally and I'm sure physically, mentally, and most of all spiritually. You can't sweep it under the rug. Act like it's not there. If you have a pastor, go to him for counseling. If not, go and seek counseling to heal yourself of this hurt. Albert says, go and see the things he might be buying for the mistresses and the slay queens. This matter there, some way, pa. And finally, Rita says, my sister, don't kill yourself because of someone. Why go through his messages in the first place? You got yourself into this trouble by doing so. Take heart and pray to God to intervene. Good luck. I cannot believe some of the messages we've received today, to be honest. But anyway, opinions are like noses, and everybody has one. Dear lady, you're watching the show. It's your decision to make. Thank you so much for watching Sister Sister on your favorite Citi TV. Now, don't forget, if you want some more exciting content, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. We call it the Citi Tube. And don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications for fresh updates. Sister Sister, every Friday at 9 p.m. only on Citi TV.